Excellent is the best deterrent to racism or sexism. Oprah Winfrey said this, and it could mean a lot of things to a lot of different people and a lot of different types of people. If you are a racial or ethnic minority, finding excellence in your own field could be a big thing for you. Or if you're a woman, it could just be finding excellence in stuff that you do on a daily basis or in your field or in a male dominated field. To me, as a white male, this quote mostly says and brings to light the extraordinary feats of racial minorities and women, especially in America in the recent years and the not so recent years. The first example I'd like to talk about is Jesse Owens' performance at the 1936 Olympic Games. These games were held in Berlin in 1936, which, of course, is in Nazi-occupied Germany. Adolf Hitler came out before the games and said that the Aryan race is the most physically superior race in the entire world, and that no race, especially Africans, could beat the Aryan race. Jesse Owens, a black male competing for the United States, ended up winning 4 gold medals and shoving it into Adolf Hitler's face, proving him wrong and deterring the racism towards the African Americans who competed for the American national team. This has been one of the most effective things in getting African Americans spots on Olympic teams because they are not worse than white people at different sports, and anyone can do anything. And that is a great deterrent to the racism in America. The second deterrent, or the second example of excellence I'd like to talk about is the Remember the Titans football team. The football team from the great movie Remember the Titans, who was dealing with a recently integrated school in Virginia in the 1970s. A football team of half black and half white players during the time of segregation and the integration of black people into white schools. The school that in question had been predominantly white, and actually all white, until this year when all the black kids in the surrounding area were forced into the school. The football coach, Herman Boone, took over as an African-American coach from a previous white coach. This team ended up being the second greatest high school team in the nation that year and almost winning a national championship. This team showed that racism specifically is a great deterrent, because as the team performed better, the white people in the town got behind the black kids on the football team more and more. I've talked a lot about racism so far in my speech, but I'd now like to move on to sexism. The first example of excellence in sexism that prevented sexism is Marie Curie, who is a Nobel Peace Prize winner because she is one of the most famous scientists of all time. She discovered an element and is way more famous than her husband, who was also a very famous scientist. But her excellence has broken the stigma on women in STEM, and specifically science. She discovered the element radon, which we now know has terrible effects and has benefited society a lot. And the women in STEM who are currently studying as scientists or whatever have specifically Marie Curie to thank for their ability to be in the STEM profession that they are in. The second motive of excellence that to avoid sexism is Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart is one of the best pilots of all time and tragically lost her fate trying to become the first woman to ever circumnavigate the globe in a plane. She is by far one of the most notorious pilots of all time and is widely considered the greatest pilot of all time. Again, being a pilot is a very male-dominated field. However, the very few women who are pilots today have Amelia Earhart to thank for setting the path for them and, again, breaking the stigma for women inside these professions to go and be able to pursue what they want to be. And that is why excellence is the best deterrent to racism or sexism. Because if you're excellent at something, someone cannot deny you something because of your sex or your race.